Don't engage alone. We do this together.
Yeah!
We got it! We got it!
New 52 book.
Somebody clip this.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to Comics League. I'm Jared, and today I've got a very special topic. So I figured I'd go with a little bit of Marvel this week. So I wanted to discuss why Ultimate Spider-Man is awesome. And by Ultimate Spider-Man, I'm talking about the new 2024 series. Don't get me wrong, the other one is great, but this is an exceptional case that I wanted to bring up because it links to something I've been saying in many videos I put out. But first, I want to remind you guys to like, comment, subscribe, become a member, because if you become a member, you get these a day early. So there is that. So to Ultimate Spider-Man, the first reason why I like Ultimate Spider-Man is because the tone of the book is hopeful and positive. Now, you may think, but Jared, isn't Spider-Man always hopeful and positive? Have you read the current Spider-Man book? I mean, it's all about Peter being depressed and everything. And yes, Peter has his moments in this book, but mostly it's mostly all just good, uplifting stuff. So really, it's it's almost like it's a different book, and I'll get into that a little bit later. But it's really strange, and it's great. They're telling great stuff because Hickman. I'll talk about that later. Part 2, it tells the early Spider-Man career, but in a new way, because the way they do it here, instead of showing us high school Peter going through the whole thing, Peter's an adult when he becomes Spider-Man. Now, you may be wondering, how does that work? So, Marvel did an event called Ultimate Invasion, and that was like the return of the Ultimate Universe, where the maker, who is Evil Reed Richards, travels the Ultimate Universe and goes back in time and like changes stuff, so he runs the world along with like an Illuminati, if you will. One of the things he does is he goes back in time to that science school trip that Peter was on, and stops the spider from biting Peter. Therefore, he's not Spider-Man. Now, where this book picks up in the modern day, Peter's an adult. He's got a nice beard, by the way. I like that spider beard. And he's married to Mary Jane and has kids and is happy.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the
Everybody
procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm!
Wait.
Everybody calm down!
Also, Uncle Ben is not dead, because if he doesn't have the spider powers, he's not a wrestler. And if he's not a wrestler, Uncle Ben is not killed. That's actually really cool. So this is telling the Spider-Man like origin story, basically. And they figured out a way to tell the same story, but do it in a new way. And that is like to be commended so well. And it actually goes to number 3. It's a slow build. And the thing about, the reason why I like it here is because because here's the thing. The book basically treats it like what Spider-Man's origin is, but we're going to slowly introduce all these other like concepts that sort of expand on the lore and the mythology a little bit, thus telling you in some ways how this world is different from the last one. So there is that. Then, honestly, number 4, one word, Hickman. Jonathan Hickman is one of the best writers in comics today on either company. And the thing about Hickman that's really, really cool, he is the master of long form storytelling. If anyone that's read his Avengers run and what he was able to get done of his X-Men run knows this, because what happens is the way Hickman writes is he writes like he's in there for the long game, and he'll sprinkle in small details that near the end of the story, if you like, let's say he completes the Spider-Man story at the very end, and you read from the beginning to the end, seemingly incongruous details throughout the entire book all of a sudden make sense, and you're like, oh, that's what that was. That's what that was setting up. That is so cool. So that's why I freaking love Hickman, and I'm so happy he's doing this. He even did Ultimate Invasion. And then 5. And this is an interesting one that I wanted to bring up. Ultimate Spider-Man gives the fans what they want. Because here's the thing. Ever since arguably One More Day.
Why did you say that name?
The fans have been calling for the reformation of the marriage between Peter and MJ. Bring them back together because that was a stupid idea. To break them up. And it was, but whatever. So what Marvel did with this series, Marvel's like, okay, put your money where your mouth is. If you want this, show us you want this. And needless to say, I think the fans have freaking spoken. And this shows if you give the fans what they want and what they have historically shown up for, you're gonna be monetarily successful. And this is one of the issues DC falls with forcing the Clark and Lois relationship, because let me put it this way. The most Superman has sold, I'd say, since like 2012 or so, has been the New 52 Superman Wonder Woman book. At least as far as I know, has been that, because like 100,000 purchases on a #1 book, and relative, I know it went down a little bit throughout the entire run, but still there was peaks and troughs. My point bringing that up is because, again, that's an example. DC could be having that if they would give the fans what they want, like bringing back the actually following through on the marriage to Selena with Bruce, like actually follow through on these ideas that you had fan investment in. And look what happens. You get an Ultimate Spider-Man. Because I think that if DC started to, this is the one time I want them to copy Marvel. If they were to copy Marvel, and like in terms of what should be an obvious business sense, giving the fans, i.e. the paying customers, what they want, guess what that leads to? Money! People give you money! And then the fans feel invested. They feel like they're being paid attention to. So that's why that is the most important reason why Ultimate Spider-Man is awesome, is because it gave the fans what they want. And you know what? To the fans that showed up and bought the book, thank you, because this is teaching Marvel a lesson. The point I'm going to leave you with is that whoever's editing the current Spider-Man books has got to be pretty nervous right now, because it's like, eventually, if this book keeps dramatically outselling the current Spider-Man book, guess what? Marvel could tell the Spider-Man office, yeah, bring this back, because this is selling and we have a lot of positive attention, which, yes, you have had. Here's the thing. This has sales and fan attraction. With Spider-Man, you have the sales, but you don't necessarily have like the fan happiness. This is an occasion where it's a relatively easy thing to do and you can get the fans on board. Get rid of Paul, arguably in the most painful way possible, and get rid of that whole status quo, put them back together, you're good to go. I think that is the simplest way that you could go from Spider-Man books that sell well but aren't necessarily embraced by the fan base to Spider-Man books that sell great and are embraced by the fan base. On that note, everyone, I'm going to wrap this up. Why do you think Ultimate Spider-Man is amazing in terms of comic books? And why do you think do you think it's a positive step up in the comic book industry? And do you think DC eventually will copy Marvel in this way? Hopefully that Ultimate Universe does a couple of cool things. So, like I said at the beginning of the video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Consider becoming a member, because obviously all that stuff goes into making the channel. And you also get access to my members only live streams that are the second Thursday of every month, where you get to hop on a panel with me, a couple of Comics League co-hosts, and we just hang out, talk about topics and stuff. And then you also get these videos a day early, and I'm starting up pretty soon Comics League University, where we all meet and we discuss comic book like lore and topics. So be on the lookout for that. Stay heroic. Remember, Lois Lane is Lois Lane. She belongs to General Zod. Zoe is for life, and Max the Bat for life. I will see you later. Bye-bye.